I had the privilege over a decade ago of going to the very, very old fishermen of our places. And I said to them, teach me. I know how to fish, but what are our places? How to be with lakes? What is important when you are on the ice? And it was a profound school, because I went to get one sort of education with a doctoral thesis. But then I went to another kind of school on the lakes to learn with them. And they are our people with PhDs of another kind. There's another Finland that very few people know anymore about, but they were some of the people that still knew, not in some romantic folklore style, how to be or say or believe, but in practice. We come from our own world, and with all of its damages, it's still a paradise. And the old people are still here to say how to be with that rock, how to be with that tree, how to harvest the vendes. Traditional knowledge is fundamentally different. It has many faces, it comes in many different forms. It can manifest, for example, in a complex of belief, occupancy, and human languages and presence within and with ecosystems over a large period of time. We can say that many rooted societies, like people living here in our villages, we can use the term local knowledge or traditional knowledge to refer to the age-old connections and observations and things that are going on when people are on our lakes and in the bush or in nature. When you are restoring lakes and rivers, first you have to restore their catchment areas. There's no point to start expensive and urgent action at the main lake or on the river if you haven't dealt with the problems on the catchment area where the actual water is collected from. In the past 4 or 5 years, using scientific and traditional knowledge, we have identified roughly 45 urgent sites for restoration. Our target for 2020 is to have installment of these 40 units around the catchment area. We are now visiting the southeastern corner of the Lake Jukajärvi and River Jukajoki catchment area. It's one of the only remaining fully intact marsh mires called Vehkasuo. As long as it's here and functions, it reminds us that the healthy marsh mires and the bogs and swamps are the lungs of our world and have been since the Ice Age. And obviously core areas for restoration both in traditional knowledge and science. And one of the things that is essential for maintaining presence throughout the catchment area and our village territories is the hunting and fisheries, berry picking, mushroom picking. But at the end of the day, if we are still in the bush, on the land, while she changes, then we have to change with her. It's not enough that we install wetland units or science-based mitigation. We also need to be here and reclaim a lot of the things that we have lost actively every day. We can see how the wisdom inherent in those fishermen involved in that work has contributed to scientifically credible changes in habitats and being like beacons in darkness, that not everything has to go. We can actually change things in a physical form and revitalize culture, practices, and have a very critical self-reflection. What are we doing? Are we doing things in a good way? I think Jukajoki hopefully will be remembered in the future decades as the moment when our villages said no.